So this is going to be a quick and dirty paint of a Reaper Bones model called Mashaaf. I originally bought this to do as a main encounter for a campaign of mine, a variation on the Reaper Bones, or the the Rod of Seven Parts was my original interpretation of that classic D&D module, and I wanted a boss level encounter, and I found this in the store and figured this would be something cool and unexpected. So I'm going to give this a quick paint job and see how she turns out. All right, I'm going to start by getting hold of some of this, using a little bit of parchment color from folk art. The folk art paints are rather thick, so I'm going to thin it down a little bit and do, like I mentioned before, I don't do the zenithal highlights because I don't have an airbrush, and every time I've had one, I've spent more time cussing at it than I've actually done painting with it. So just take that as a sign that I'm not supposed to use them. So, but I'm just going to go through and kind of do a big overbrush, and this will help pop up some of the details and the like. And because of the size of the model, I'm just using like a 1/4 inch. Was that what this? No, it was a 1 inch. It's just a standard flat brush. I guess in essence this does the same thing as a zenithal, but I'm just not using an airbrush. I'm just using something I've been doing for a long time anyway. I'm going to do skin in an off-white. I think I've mentioned before, I've got the Vallejo game color and model color ranges, and this is the off-white by game color. Actually, I'm going to continue on with this folk art since I got so much of it on here. I hate to waste, so let's just go ahead and use that. I'm going to go ahead and try and get the skin done, and I'll be back with you as soon as I get this done. I went through and hit this thing with the that parchment color from folk art, and as I expected, it didn't cover very well, which is why I don't use the craft paints for miniature painting, even something like this. So now I'm going to go through with the with my original thought with the off-white and see if this will help. But if nothing else, the parchment kind of took up that initial layer of the initial layer over top of the black primer. So that does help. Actually, I think I'm going to hit it with the sky gray. It'd be easier to work from to that to a off-white from that than would be to go up from this, because this right here, it'd probably take me another couple, 3 coats just to cover this. So yeah, we're going to do that. We'll hit it with the sky gray, which is a nice mid-tone kind of a gray color, and we'll work that up from there. Alright. Still debating about what the top. I think I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the top. I see a lot of rocks and projectile or rocky structures and stuff in there and some thick scale. So I've got a couple ideas I think that may work out. Alright, so we're going to get this thing moving. I think I'm going to go to a much bigger brush. Yeah, the old adage, the right tool for the job. Yeah, much better. Alright. At least with this setup, I don't have to worry about my hands getting in the way of the video. I apologize for that last video. So yeah, nice big brush. And that's covering over really, really well. And kind of work up underneath that scale or that thick upper area. So yeah, there's some areas I need to hit with the hair dryer and stuff, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and push on with the rest of this, and then I'll be back with you in a little bit. So now I'm gonna do basically, I guess it would be called an overbrush. So I've done a 50-50 mix-up of the off-white and the gray, because I'm keeping my original, or keeping that color. And now it's just going to be a matter of just getting here with a big makeup brush and doing basically what I call basically just a heavy dry brush. But a lot of folks have been using the term overbrush, and I'm still learning all these newfangled painting techniques or names. And this will preserve some of the shadow, I hope. That's down here in between the segments right here, right along in here. Try and keep as much of that as I can. I'll pick some of that back up with some washes and stuff here after a little bit. I think I'm going to hit this guy with a sepia wash. And once I get done with this part also, I'm going to come back and just go with the off-white in a truer dry brush. Now, big old fluffy makeup brush. Let's see what this does. There we go. I tell you, these make dry brushing so much easier, especially on really pronounced details like these ribs and such. Oh, that's not awesome. Oh well. There we go, one big evil looking worm thingy. I've been calling it a cave thingy for a while because I had no idea what it's called. But apparently it's called Mashaaf. Yeah, I had to look it up. That's an actual named thing for Reaper bones. I don't know much more about it aside from just the name. So, but it fits for my campaign that I had in work at the time. So, all right. So I'm going to move on to the back with some dark gray. This is the trying to get used to using cameras and stuff. This is the model color dark gray. I'm just going to cover the whole back where it looks like the rocks and the scales and stuff began to form, creating this really unique looking structure on the back. Again, using a bigger brush, plus something that's got some bristle to it so it can get into the get into some of the crevices and such. I'm going to go ahead and finish hitting this and go back and touch up some of the stuff I just hit on my white. And I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Well, and there we go. Looks like some type of warp stone infused critter from the Underdark. I can go through and add in my next color. Actually, I'm not going to blend with the with my first. Is I'm going to use this livery green, and I'm going to go through and do an overbrush, and then once I'm done with that, then I'm going to go back and hit it with the yellow green for highlights. And I've also picked up all these little circles and such in there, and I'll be doing the same thing to those. I'm just going to, all that green color will be doing the same thing. All right, back in a bit. All right, oops. All right, so I got this through a couple layers of green, went in with the livery green, and then finished out with a yellow green. Again, model and game colors. I thought been thinking about what to do with these appendages and the small little legs here. So I think I'm gonna drop back and punt with some gray, or not gray, but black. But I'm gonna hit it with kind of a dark gray at the base, and then try and transition into just a black near the blades and the tip and stuff. We'll see how that goes. It's good in theory anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and hit that. Originally I was gonna do try and do a bone color, but it just didn't seem like it was clicking too well. Like it was gonna. I couldn't see in my head where it actually be worthwhile. So. Just kind of come in just like that, go up a little bit, and then try and blend it into the black. Let's see if I can get that. See if I can get that transition, the wet blend with the black. Oh. Well, pressed on and got a lot of stuff done. I do like the transition a little bit in the like a dark gray into the black. Um, and because it's so dark, I went ahead and brought in this off-white on the edge of the blade and some of these spikes, and went ahead and to show some contrast, I went ahead and kept the green. Once this dries, I'm going to go through and do like I did on the back, and with a couple different lighter shades, and then yeah, got tentacles. I'm gonna kind of branch out a little bit and use some of this Murderous Magenta from P3. I've used this stuff before. It's a nice color, and probably do some like pink highlights or something like that with it. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and press on, and when I get back to you, I'll have this whole thing all sorted out and painted up. Thank you all for sticking around, and hopefully you found something useful. If you did, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. It would really help me out. Until next week, y'all take care and be safe.